A young boy falls in love with a widow and loves to be spanked by her. Will their love story continue or not? Stay tuned to know. The movie began with a heavy and sorrowful tone. We meet 16-year-old Charlie, a boy who has just lost the most important figure in his life, his father. From the very first scenes, you can feel the weight of grief pressing down on him. His father's sudden death leaves him shattered, confused, and drowning in emotions he doesn't know how to express. For a teenager on the edge of adulthood, losing a parent is devastating, but for Charlie it feels like the ground beneath him has been pulled away. Charlie doesn't cope like most people. While others cry openly, talk, or try to move on with family support, Charlie internalizes everything. His sadness turns into frustration, anger, and silence. He distances himself from his mother, who is also grieving in her own way. But instead of leaning on each other, their pain creates a wall between them. She wants to comfort him, but she's too broken herself. And Charlie, full of resentment and confusion, sees her as someone who cannot understand the storm inside him. Their home becomes a place filled with unspoken words, heavy silence, and emotional distance. Charlie feels invisible. He walks through life carrying a void no one seems able to fill. He lashes out sometimes, other times he withdraws completely, wandering the streets, searching for something, anything that could make the pain stop, or at least make him feel alive again. And that's when his path crosses with Maggie. Maggie is not like anyone Charlie has ever met. She is older, mysterious, elegant, yet intimidating. There's something about her presence that makes her stand out immediately. Charlie discovers, almost by accident, that Maggie works as a dominatrix. For most people this would be shocking, even scandalous. But for Charlie, who has been living in numbness, Maggie's world feels like a jolt of electricity. It's dark, dangerous, and strangely fascinating. When he first meets her, Charlie is drawn in by pure curiosity. She is so different from the people in his life, especially from his mother. Maggie is confident, in control, and unapologetic about who she is. Charlie, who feels powerless in his grief, is magnetized by her strength. To him, she represents an escape from the chaos inside his head, a chance to feel something other than pain. Maggie, however, doesn't immediately let him in. She sees Charlie for what he is, a boy, lost and broken, wandering into a world he doesn't fully understand. She keeps her distance, reminding him that he doesn't belong in her line of work. But Charlie doesn't give up. He keeps coming back, searching for her, needing her presence like oxygen. Slowly, something unexpected happens. Maggie begins to notice his persistence, and more importantly, the sadness that hides behind his eyes. She realizes that Charlie isn't just some curious teenager looking for thrills. He's a boy trying to survive his grief. Maggie herself knows what it means to carry scars. Behind her leather outfits and dominant personality, she too is a wounded person. Her life has been shaped by pain, rejection, and choices that left her hardened on the outside, but vulnerable on the inside. This recognition between them, of pain, of loss, of brokenness, becomes the foundation of their strange and complicated connection. Charlie starts spending more time with Maggie, and little by little, the film shows their bond forming. It's not about sex or lust in the traditional sense. It's about control, comfort, and healing. Charlie, who feels powerless in his everyday life, finds a sense of belonging when he is with her. Maggie, who has built walls around herself to keep the world out, finds those walls cracking as she allows Charlie inside. What's striking about their relationship is how it grows not through dramatic declarations, but through quiet moments. Maggie allows him to sit in her space, to watch, to ask questions. Charlie begins to open up in ways he never could with his mother. With Maggie, he doesn't feel judged. He doesn't feel like a child who needs to be pitied. Instead, he feels seen, as if someone finally understands the depth of his pain. But Maggie doesn't make it easy for him. She challenges him, pushes him, sometimes even scares him. Her world is built on dominance after all, and Charlie steps into it unsure and vulnerable. Yet, in a strange way, that's what he needs. Her harshness forces him to confront his feelings, to feel something raw and powerful instead of numbing himself with grief. For Charlie, Maggie becomes more than just a mysterious woman. She becomes his escape, his teacher, and even his healer in ways that no one else in his life can be. For Maggie, Charlie becomes more than just a boy knocking on the wrong door. He becomes a reminder of vulnerability, innocence, and the possibility of connection she thought she had lost forever. Of course, their unusual relationship doesn't stay hidden for long. Charlie's mother begins to sense that something is happening. She notices the changes in him, the secrecy, the distance, the late nights. She doesn't yet know the full truth, but she knows her son is caught in something dangerous. The tension between mother and son grows as she struggles to reach him, and he pushes her away even further. Their bond is undeniable now. Two lost souls, both scarred and fragile, finding something in each other that neither expected. But the risks are high. Their relationship is unconventional, frowned upon, and bound to collide with the realities of the outside world. Charlie feels alive for the first time since his father's death. Maggie feels seen in a way she hasn't in years. But how long can two broken people hold each other together before the cracks begin to spread? That's the question that hangs as the story prepares to dive even deeper into their dangerous, passionate, and heartbreaking connection. Being with Maggie feels like the only thing keeping him afloat after his father's death. Every time he walks through her door, he feels alive again, as if he's stepping into a world where his grief doesn't suffocate him. But reality is never that kind. Outside Maggie's home, Charlie's life is still crumbling. His relationship with his mother grows more strained by the day. She tries to reach him, to talk, but he pulls further away, convinced that she could never understand what he's going through. She sees him slipping into a dangerous space, but has no idea how to pull him back. Her concern slowly turns to frustration, then to desperation. Meanwhile, Maggie struggles too. Though she keeps her composure on the surface, letting Charlie into her life shakes her in ways she didn't expect. For years, she has been in control, building walls around herself, hiding her pain behind the persona of a dominatrix. But Charlie, innocent, grieving and stubborn, slips past those walls. He isn't like her clients, who come for power games and leave satisfied with the illusion. Charlie looks at her differently. He sees her not as an untouchable figure but as a person, and that terrifies her. Their relationship deepens into something complex, part companionship, part mentorship, part forbidden love. Maggie shows him a world of control and discipline, a world where pain can turn into release. But beneath the leather and dominance, she also shows him care. She listens to him when no one else does. She gives him space to feel without judgment. And Charlie, in return, gives her something she hasn't had in years: authentic connection. Charlie's mother finally learns the truth about Maggie, and the discovery horrifies her. From her perspective, her teenage son is being manipulated by an older woman who lives a life surrounded by taboo. She sees Maggie as a predator, not realizing that the bond between them isn't as simple as it looks. To a grieving mother, this relationship is nothing short of dangerous, and she becomes determined to put an end to it. For Charlie, this becomes another fracture in his world. He already feels abandoned by his father's death, and now he sees his mother trying to rip away the one thing that has given him hope. He lashes out, torn between anger and desperation, unwilling to let go of Maggie. His grief, his confusion, and his stubborn love for her push him into rebellion. He clings to Maggie as if losing her would mean losing everything all over again. Maggie, however, knows the truth. As much as she cares for Charlie, as much as their bond has changed both of them, she knows it cannot last. She knows society will never accept them. She knows Charlie is still too young, still trying to navigate the raw pain of his father's death. She knows that if their relationship continues, it could destroy them both. This inner conflict weighs heavily on her. Maggie has always lived her life without apologies, but now she begins questioning herself. Is she helping Charlie heal, or is she holding him back from moving forward? Does he truly love her, or is he clinging to her because of his grief? These questions haunt her, and for the first time, Maggie feels powerless in a world where power was always her armor. As their story races toward its climax, the fragile balance between them collapses. Charlie and Maggie's relationship, once a secret refuge, is exposed under the harsh light of judgment. The outside world condemns Maggie, and Charlie is caught between defending her and being forced to let go. The fantasy they built together begins to crumble, and the raw reality of their situation comes crashing down. In the emotional final moments, both characters are left transformed. Charlie has to face the fact that Maggie cannot be his forever escape. His grief is still there, heavy and unrelenting, but he realizes that he cannot rely on her to carry it for him. Maggie, on the other hand, is forced to accept the vulnerability she tried to bury. Charlie's presence reminded her that she is human, that she is capable of love and pain like anyone else, even beneath the mask she wears for her work. Their parting isn't neat, nor is it wrapped in a bow, but it carries meaning. For Charlie, Maggie was never just a lover or a forbidden fascination. She was the one person who saw his pain and didn't turn away. Through her, he found the strength to face his grief, even if it meant walking forward alone. For Maggie, Charlie was more than a boy who wandered into her world. He was proof that even in brokenness, connection is possible. The film closes on a bittersweet note. It doesn't give us the traditional happy ending, because their story was never meant to be about happily ever after.